Hello, Michael Swain here after Kansas basketball's 78-55 win over Oklahoma. And for probably the first 5 or 6 minutes of this one, you thought we might be headed down the same road that you saw the last time KU hit the road to take on Iowa State. It was a bit of a lethargic start, really struggle offensively for Kansas, and then everything kind of started to click. You look at the start of the game, Kansas opens the game shooting 3 of 17 from the field, and then from that moment on, Kansas shot 70% from the field from then on out. And I think what you saw early in the game is that Oklahoma really tried to make Kansas a jump shooting team. And then once Kansas realized that they could get to the rim and get to the paint, they really did. And I think Juwan Harris was a driving force of that. I think Jalen Wilson did some of that during the game, but I think you need to see the ball go through the hoop a little bit before he really found a rhythm. But this is a game that in the end, Kansas goes on to win in blowout fashion. It's KU's biggest margin of victory in Norman since the 1960s. Probably shows how poor Oklahoma can be. They've lost 7 straight Big 12 games. It's surprising how they even beat Alabama in the Big 12 SEC showdown, but it probably shows too that there is a good team there, just not right now. So for Kansas, a really big win. I think you look at the rest of the Big 12 schedule, this is one Kansas had to have. And considering the fact they hadn't won a road game since January 7th, it felt like a long time coming to get another road win for this team that now has to go on the road to take on Oklahoma State. As for individual performances, it's hard not to start with Ernest Udeh. I think he has really improved, built on his performances as of late. The performance at Iowa State looks more and more like an anomaly, where you see him here today and he looks like a guy that maybe next year, years down the road, will be able to be a really high-level Big 12 center. Love his activity. He's got his hands in passing lanes. But for me, I think the most impressive part happened over right behind me there, where he blocked a three-point shot. And it came at the end of a shot clock. Typically in that fashion, how many times have we seen David McCormick, Udoka Azubuike be on the perimeter and get blown by or not be able to stick with the guard? And Udeh was able to do just that. And I think that's really impressive. The fact that he's able to stay with the guards when Kansas is switching 5, which they still did with Udeh in the game, which is very, very rare for a Bill Self team. He's just so impressive, I think, in a game like this, where even if you look at the stats, right, it's 8 points, it's 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals. On that note, it feels like he had more than that, but that's a different discussion. But overall, he made a huge impact. Grady Dick said that Udeh was highlighted as the player of the game post-game, and he was just fantastic. I think Juwan Harris, you're seeing him be more aggressive. KU needs him to score. And I noticed a stat where Juwan Harris's 2-point attempts in wins are twice as much as they are in losses. And KU is undefeated this season when Juwan Harris scores in double digits. So when Harris scores 4 or 16 points today, you're like, okay, Kansas will win that game. But they're able to win this game in a blowout fashion because of how aggressive Juwan was throughout the course of the game. And so for me going forward, that's going to be a big stat to watch. How is Juwan Harris aggressively? Is he attacking the paint, or is he settling and passing the ball off or settling for 3-point jumpers? If he's attacking the paint, you like what it means for Kansas. Overall, Kansas forced 26 turnovers, season high for Oklahoma. The activity level for Kansas was really good even after the sluggish start, and they're going to have to carry that over to Oklahoma on Tuesday. Oklahoma is one of the better defensive teams in the country. KU's going to have to match their intensity. And then all of a sudden you get into the home stretch and it's Baylor, TCU. Winnable game for Kansas on Tuesday, but they need to have it if they're going to compete with Texas down the stretch, and the Longhorns beat West Virginia in emphatic fashion today. So, crucial time now for Kansas. The home stretch is here. Only a few more games to go, and the Jayhawks need to perform. As always, got you covered with coverage on Fog.net. Make sure you stay tuned there for all sorts of post-game wrap coverage from here, from Norman today, and then obviously heading into Oklahoma State on Tuesday.